Hello, good morning. Welcome to Sunnyside Journals. I'm Catherine. Have a little visit. I have a little what's on my desk. I'm going to finish up a journaling card and put it into a pocket. I made a pocket here. I saved this. There we go, that's better. It's from a 1948 magazine, Women's Journal, British magazine. And I believe it was I think it was the December edition, had a calendar for the upcoming year. Beautiful florals on all the pages. So they had 3 months per page. So I guess 4 pages. And I used the flower arrangements from the upper part as end papers in a previous book. But something told me to save just the little calendar strip. And I'm rather glad I did, because that looks really pretty there. I only wish that it said 1948, but this is 1948. I may actually get my calligraphy pen out and just write 1948 on it, so that whoever the new owner knows that that actually was from 1948. So, let me show you Mr. and Mrs. Loria. They're in their new spot. I finished Mrs. Loria's little plate. There we go. Didn't they turn out nicely? So there he is, and there she is, and she gets the nameplate. She looks lovely. I think, you know what, I've got to say, he's very handsome, don't get me wrong, but look how pretty she is with all those shades of green and yellow, and I think she's very, very pretty. And quite often in the bird world, the boys get to be the pretty ones. I got to thinking about it more yesterday, because we talked about how the girls, the females, are usually more camouflaged in nature, and the males are usually bright and vivid. And you know what? I got to thinking, maybe that's the male's way, not being show-offs or that, but maybe that's the male's way of being more distracting and actually putting themselves out there to be noticed, so that any kind of predators that might be coming near the nest, the male can say, "Hey there, look at me," and they're very noticeable. I mean, you spot cardinals right away. But they say in the bird world that if you spot a male cardinal, look around, because they're such devoted couples. Usually you'll see the female within about 20 feet of circumference somewhere, diameter, whatever the word is, of wherever a male is. So just look around, and I found that 9 times out of 10 to be true. That she's usually somewhere, but the boys get the attraction. Maybe nature plans it that way, so that the ladies can get on with the work and stay safe, and the boys can sort of be the decoy. That's my theory. Anyhow, in this instance, though, I think she's just beautiful. And so she gets the little nameplate there. So back to my other wanderings off topic here. So, now I got to find the pocket I put in. Where did you go? 1948. There you are. So this is actually on the page from the HMS Pinafore. And it's probably one of the only few songs I remember from it. Our class in 8th grade put on the HMS Pinafore, and my best friend at the time, Marcia, she played Buttercup. So I remember her song. I was always there working on the scenery while she was practicing her song. So I remember I'm called Little Buttercup, dear Little Buttercup, though I could never tell why. And I remember Marcia singing away, and I was painting away, because although I never minded singing, I would much rather have been painting the scenery than standing on the stage singing. Give me the paintbrush, give me the scenery. So I made this yesterday. It's such hard work. Glue and scrapbook paper. But I thought she was pretty. So, and I'm going to stick her in there, but she needs to be trimmed. She needs a little inking. Maybe she needs a little eyelet. So first I'm going to use my cutting board so that I can get a straight edge along here. And then I'm going to have to try my hand at getting that curve with scissors. We'll see. I'll do my best. That's all I can do. Oh, I was in bed so early last night, which is really rare for me. For the past decade, with having undiagnosed sleep apnea. I never understood why I dreaded going to bed, but I did. And I'm sorry, I'm just scraping this off here. And since I've been properly diagnosed, I was diagnosed, oh my goodness, maybe 12 years ago, and fitted with a mouth appliance that never ever really worked properly, but I just didn't bother following up, which is silly on my part because it's all covered. We're very, very fortunate up here in Canada. But that's an example. You know what? I will just say that's an example. I am a prime example. When people worry, oh, if there's universal health care, the system will be abused. Trust me, it's not abused. Nobody likes going to the doctor. It's not abused. I'm sorry. Everyone I know hates going to the doctor, and if we don't have to go, we don't want to go. We're not a country of hypochondriacs up here. And trust me, I put it off for 10 years. But I did finally go and got properly diagnosed better and fitted with a machine. Anyhow, I sleep so well now with my machine. And so because of that, I love going to bed. And gosh, last night I think I was in bed at 9:45 and sound asleep within like 4 or 5 minutes. That's unheard of for me. I used to lay awake for 2 or 3, well, not 2 or 3, maybe 1 or 2 hours, honestly, laying awake at rehashing thoughts in my mind and what have you. Mind you, nowadays, you know what, I'm going to push something here that I'm not getting any kind of sponsorship from. Every night I listen to a bedtime story, an adult bedtime story from Nothing Much Happens Here. It's, if you follow on Spotify, I think it's also available on a few other accounts, but it's just an adult bedtime story. It's about 20 minutes long. It's read very slowly and very relaxing. Her voice is like this. And it's just a little story about whether she's making tea or that. I know I've mentioned it before, but I'm going to mention it again in case there's anyone out there, especially in these trying times when the news can get your brain so wired up at bedtime. This Nothing Much Happens. Oh, it's just, the latest episode is called The Innkeeper. And it's just, I still haven't heard the end of the story because I just start listening to the story and it's so dull and so not much happening. And you fall asleep. It's magnificent. I love it. I'm going to use my sponge on this side and I'm going to use my brush on the other side, and I'll tell you why. On this side, because that is white, I don't mind if it's got a bit more color to it. But the other side, I just want a hint. Anyhow, I don my mask, my CPAP mask, and then I put in my earbuds to my phone, and I put on, I use Spotify, and I put on my Nothing Much Happens, and off I go to dreamland. It's a wonderful thing. This is looking nice. I'm using gathered twigs. You can't tell. You'll need to trust me. It's gathered twigs. It's got a nice, slightly greenish brown tinge to it. And that looks nice on the white there. See? Beautiful. Now this side, I just want sort of a little hint. So I'm just gonna give that edge a little kiss with the brush. It's a little more delicate, subtle. But I do have to go to the dentist today. Things are slowly opening up in our area. I don't have any dental problems. I was very, very fortunate. I had my dental checkup at the beginning of February. I had 2 cavities filled. I had cleaning. And seriously, I think the day after my filling was done, they started closing things down. So I timed it, thank goodness, very well, because I don't do dental very well. But today's dental visit is actually easy peasy, and I don't mind it at all. No Ativan needed, because I'm getting a new mouth guard. I grind my teeth at night. I'm a real basket case. Why my husband sticks around, my hat's off to him. Anyhow, yeah, I grind my teeth at night. So I needed a new dental appliance for sleeping. And it was ready. It was ready when everything got shut down. And my appointment had to get canceled to go in and pick it up, because you can't just grab it. They actually put it in your mouth and make sure the fit is appropriate. So, because I even messaged them and pleaded, please, can I just come and get it? And you can just throw it out the door and I'll grab it out of midair. And she said, I'm sorry, we can't do that. The dentist has to make sure that it fits your mouth properly. And that makes sense. Alrighty. So there we go. She looks lovely. I'm going to think about whether I want to put an eyelet and maybe a ribbon. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to hold off, because that does add bulk. The eyelet is thick, then the ribbon and the knot is thick. So I'm going to hold off and think about it, and maybe I'll wait and see if I've got an alligator mouth happening by the end. And I'm just going to be patient. And I'll decide later whether that young lady needs an eyelet or not. Yeah, where did I put her? I closed it and I lost her again. Oh, come on. Oh, here. I can always find Mr. and Mrs. Loria's branches, and then I know she's nearby. Where are you? I know you're nearby. There you are. Now, on this side, this is, as I just forced you all to endure, this is Buttercup's solo song. Where is it? There it is. There's her little aria. And so I want to fussy cut a beautiful little blonde lady and put her down here. And I know she's young. Buttercup was an older lady, the character of Buttercup. But at one point, Buttercup had to be a young lady, right? So now, this little child, don't fear for the little child. The little child will go somewhere else. The little child will also get fussy cut and put somewhere. But I just want this lady. And give her a little... I'm not sure I'm going to use the train on her dress. Or perhaps I'll run the train around... No. I'm going to leave the train while I fussy cut. But I do think I'm going to trim the train on her dress. So yeah, so I'm going... I get to FaceTime with my mom today, so I'm looking forward to that. 10 o'clock, she and I will have our little visit. And hopefully she's doing well. She's doing well physically. I worry for her emotionally. On the other hand, I am not willing to put her through what kind of visit I would be allowed to do right now, because they are starting to allow visits, but they're very, very complicated. And in the end, I wouldn't be allowed to touch her. I wouldn't be allowed to go near her. I'd have to sit 6 feet away from her, fully masked. And I think that would upset her. So, when we FaceTime, I can actually, we can see each other's full face. So, for the time being, I'm going to be a little patient and continue to FaceTime with her instead. I'm not sure I want to save that earring because it doesn't look like an earring and it's distracting. You know what, lady? The earring is going. There we go. Earring's gone. Executive decision. The commitment cut, as I like to say in my industry. Make the commitment cut, and then there's no going back. Hubby's off to work again today. So it's me and Dorothy. And she's sound asleep downstairs. She's always in her kibble coma first thing in the morning. She has her brekkie, and it's sort of, oh, I'm full. It's like Thanksgiving every morning. When you're a little dog and you just had a big dinner, it's just nice to go and have a nap. I still don't really have, I don't have any kind of focus yet for this Gilbert and Sullivan, except to put beautiful things in it. It seems to be another Mr. Snook book. Maybe it's like a Mrs. Snook book, because this one is certainly a little bit more frilly than Mr. Snook was. But it still seems to be, I seem to be just gathering images that just spark joy. So I guess we'll see where that goes. But for now, it seems to just be a spark joy kind of journal for me. And that's okay. Somebody out there will enjoy picking up the torch and making this even prettier, or maybe giving it a theme when they make it their own and they decide this journal is going to be for such and such, and then it has a theme. I'm hoping the campgrounds open up soon so we can get our little camper out. The provincial parks up here in Canada, the United States has state parks. We have provinces, so we have provincial parks, and they're beautiful. And our provincial parks are open for camping. Our problem is that our provincial parks are quite rustic and natural, and they don't have a full hookup, meaning you can't hook up your water. You can usually get water and electricity at a provincial park, not always, but they don't have sewage hookup for if you've got a toilet and sink and that sort of thing. And for our first camping of the season, we always need a sewage hookup because we've had the lines need to be blown out. There's a liquid that goes into our lines. Don't worry, it doesn't pollute. It just prevents our lines from freezing over the winter and bursting. And it's got to be blown out. And you can only do that if you have a sewage hookup, or if you take your RV to a dealership and ask them to do it. Yes, you can do that. But our dealership is just jam-packed with people desperately wanting their RVs prepared for the upcoming camping season. So it's just as easy for us to do it ourselves, but you have to go to a private park and stay on a full service site. So we have to do that first. And they were slower to open up than the provincial parks. I think it's because they're closer sites, that you're closer to each other on a private site, in a private park, than you are in a provincial park. So we're just going to be patient a little bit longer, and then maybe we can get our little trailer out and go and have some campfires, and I can fussy cut around the campfire again. We got some new chairs. I'm so excited. We got some new camp chairs, and they rock. Even if they're on grass, they rock. It's the funniest thing how they figured this out. They're folding and they're canvas, but the way the frame was designed, you can sit in your chair and you can rock. And I'm a rocker. I love just that motion of rocking. And so I'm very much looking forward to trying out our new chairs. Okay, be patient. You're in my way. I might have to take you off and put you on the last one. Oh, there we go. No, you're all right. Okay, I take that back. Oh, she looks lovely. Right beside Buttercup's Aria. All right, now, as ever, I like a little bit of ink around that white edge. I'm going to trim her train after I glue her down, just so that I know I've got the edge of the paper proper. Where's my brush? All right, you, ma'am. So I just want to darken that edge. I don't want to distress her. So I'm just barely kissing that little edge there. There you go. I'm trying to decide what my next journal will be after Gilbert Sullivan is done. I suspect Gilbert and Sullivan will be done later this week. And I'm toying with the idea. Hold on, let me find it. I'm toying with the idea of doing a shabby chic. I'm so enjoying shabby chic, the laces and taking the really ugly falling apart kinds of books. And I'm thinking I might do the British Nation and make it beautiful again. It's a nice size journal. And I'm thinking this might have to be shabby chiced. Look at the inside of this. Isn't that pretty? I love that yellowed tape. I would have to save that. That opening would have to go in, into the new book. Anyhow, so I cleaned it up the other day. Used my soft eraser and cleaned it as best I could, but it's been written on, and it's got blops of ink, which I love. It's still got you can see where it's had tape to try and hold it together. I love that too. It's just, this is a spectacular looking book, and it's going to make a really great looking journal. I think this might be my next one. And it's not necessarily, don't let that title fool you. I'm not necessarily going to go with that title, and I may even cover it up with lace. It's called The British Nation, but as a journal, it may not end up being that. Oh, I have to show you this. I'm so all over the place this morning, but I have to show you this. Do you remember the other day when I went thrifting, and I was so excited because I found all these little papers with the nice, remember, I like the thin blue lines so that you can do lots of smaller writing on it. Well, I decided to tea dye them the other day, and do you want to see all the thin blue lines? Yeah, they're gone. They're gone. Gone. As my granddaughter Audrey would say, gone. When she was teeny, and we used to say, something like, where's your cookie? Gone. Where's your toy? Gone. But it had to go with the hand movement. Gone. And now we use it all the time now. I'll say to my husband, where did I put that? And he'll say, gone. Anyhow, so the blue stripes, they're gone. Let me get back to this. Oh gosh. What a scatterbrain. So just sort of, I've got it angled, so don't worry if the angle of my phone up here makes it look like I'm trying to distress this edge. I am not. I'm just inking the white raw edge from where the scissors have cut into the paper. And then she'll look like a more finished project. I don't like, right under her chin there, there's a little bit of white. There we go. All right. She looks pretty. Let's get some glue out. Ta-da! Art glitter glue always needs a little help first thing in the morning, and I don't begrudge at that. I need a little help first thing in the morning too. All right, let's move. Come here. Come here, buttercups, are you? Yep, you're not gonna. Hold on. Let's see if we can get you. Here's a little scrap. Ah, there we go. Okay, we got you working now. Alrighty. Oh, now I gotta remember to show you my next project. I mean, besides the British Empire. This next project is for me. So hopefully I get finished. How much time have I got? Oh, 3 minutes. Okay, that should be enough. We can do it. We can do it. I keep, here, I'll do the lead up now while I'm going. I keep all the, I print, when I sell a journal on Etsy, I print off 2 copies of the receipt. And one goes to the new owner, just to, as part of the paperwork. Copy of their receipt for payment, and I keep a copy too, just so I can remember who got what and where did it go and all the little details. So I keep copies of them, and also I printed on the back side of. I can do my own postal labels here, Canada Post. And so I flip it over and I print my Canada Post on. And anyhow, and I keep it in a binder. And I also have a section in the binder where I keep, hold on, where I keep receipts for when I purchase supplies. And various things, address labels for if I'm sending something out. It's almost like just a little catch-all book. And the one that I've been using is much too small now. I just want to do that little raw edge there. The one I'm using is much too small now. I need a bigger book. Now I do remove the previous year. Well, I guess 2 years ago from then on. I do like to have one previous year in, and I just store those away. But I do like to have my most recent ones. Oh, hold on, here we go. Look how lovely she looks. Yay! She looks very pretty. Okay, so let me grab it. I found, thrifting the other day, I found one of these. And this one's in really great condition because it's not very old. Actually, how old is it? Oh, these are upside down. Sorry, I was playing with it. I believe this one is 89. I think. I already gutted most of the pages out of it. I believe this is 1989 edition. So it's really tough. It's quite new. It even has this plastic band down at the bottom so that it can be stored upright, which is what I like. Because the one I'm using right now, as you can see, it's really, it's stuffed. I've tried to make, hold on, I've tried to make file things, and it's just stuffed. There's my label that I usually put on it, and it's at its limit. So I think this will work well. Because things get trimmed down, I seldom use a full-sized 8.5 by 11. So here's an 8.5 by 11. It would not hold an 8.5 by 11, but I seldom ever use an 8.5 by 11. And if necessary, I'd rather just fold it in half and put it into the book, because that'll be fun. I think it'll be fun. So, and it was, did I already take it off? Ah, there we go. $2.99. What a great deal. So that's my my little off-camera. Yes, I hear you, alarm. Dismiss. Where are you? Dismiss. Dismiss. So this is going to be what I'm going to work on just for myself, for to make my life a little easier. So I've taken out all the dividers, and I think I'm going to try and find some way to make gusseted stuffy folders, because there's so many of them that I'm going to try and figure out a way to use two together. Like if I use section 8 and section 12, they both have bottom tags. Do you see what I mean? And see if I can make gusseted folders that I could stuff things in, or I'm not sure yet. I'm pondering it. We'll see. We'll see what I do. But that's my plan. So far, I'm sticking to it. Well, my timer went off. It means my time's up, and I'm going to drink my tea before it gets cold. I hope you all have a wonderful day. It's sunny where I am. I hope you're having lovely weather where you are. And stay safe and stay healthy and take care of each other and be kind to each other. Just like Ellen says, just be kind to each other. That's what I'm trying anyhow. It's worth it to try. Take care, everyone. We'll talk soon. Bye.